Jaya Gaura Hare.
Welcome to another episode of Too Much Wise.
This is the Gita Expedition series where we explore the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, verse by verse and chapter by chapter.
All that we discuss here is what we've heard from perfected teachers and spiritualists from the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. None of this is our own analysis.
If you're here for the first time, then we recommend that you watch the warm-up series of the Bhagavad Gita where we introduce some concepts of the Gita for the first time.
This episode is better heard than watched. You can hear it while taking a walk, while driving, cooking, or even walking out.
We've had a lot of fun recording this, and we hope that it's an enriching experience for all of you as well. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, text 29 and 30. Vipatas cha sharire me romaharsha cha jayate gandivam shramshate hastat tvakchaiva paridhayate na cha shaknomi avasthatum brahmati vacha me mana nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Translations. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I'm unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're meeting after a long time, Prabhu, and yeah, I think I feel very good. I feel like we're back in business, and it's nice to be back in front of the camera, in front of you, in front of the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's been
So
long after
today, I
that.
think we'll.
There's a lag, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Anyhow, you go ahead. You go ahead, Prabhu.
there's a lag. Yeah. uh, yeah, I think today we were talking about it's a little sad, again, as I said last time also, when we see just these single shlokas, because I have never done this before. We've been through this whole as a section. When I go through this, when I'm focusing just on this, I'm seeing Arjun, our favorite character of everyone. He's saying my body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, and you can't help but feel for the guy. He's in a pickle right now, he's in a catch 22. He's like, should I kill these guys? I'm in a position, I've been put in a position to kill these guys whom I love, or at least whom I'm related to, and I don't want to do it, and it's causing me misery. And that's what the verses for today are about.
Yeah. His Arjun's woes are continuing, right? And I like how
Hmm.
Vyasadev in the 700 shlokas, he's given these 2 3 shlokas to very vividly, to very properly describe in a very vivid manner how Arjun is feeling. There is no knowledge here, there
Yeah.
is no teachings here,
Yeah.
but just so that the reader can relate, he's described it
Hmm.
in so much detail. My mind is reeling, my
Yeah.
body is trembling, gandiva is slipping
Yeah.
from my hand, my skin is burning, just to show the
Burn.
intensity of how he's feeling. So
Yeah.
Vyasdev has
Yeah.
made sure this needs to get delivered. They need to know the state of mind of Arjun.
Yeah. Correct. And I don't know how many of us I mean, it just struck me that we're feeling for Arjun right now, and but in the larger scheme of things, when we remember that this is being spoken to Arjun, because Arjun will be representing all of us. um, I just was thinking how many times when my mind is reeling, when I am in a distressful situation, when I'm all stressed out and anxious, how many times do I remember, or even like how many times does it even occur to me that, oh yeah, this is Arjun's plight, I'm in that plight, let's do what he does, let's go to Krishna for some advice. Like, I don't think like that, but this is making me think maybe I should remember this picture that is being painted by Vasudev, and when I'm in that picture, I should be like, yeah, I should do what Arjun did.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't do what Arjun did, then we end up messing it all up. Think of it like this: if Gita wouldn't have been spoken, and if Arjun would have fought
Yeah.
the war, the battle of Kurukshetra, without consulting Krishna in the mindset that he is right
Mm.
now, what would have happened? Like this,
Mm.
the strongest warrior
Right.
in this extreme nervousness would have screwed up, like obviously. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you fight in this
Yeah.
mindset? But if he didn't go to Krishna,
Yeah.
and in this indecision, he would have felt like, okay, let me just fight now. Okay, but he's so nervous, he fights
Mm.
in this mood. What is going to happen? So
Yeah.
similarly, when we
The
don't take
most, the most, the most.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, Pro. Yeah, I'll let you finish the point.
yeah, no, Prabhu, there's a lag, so that's fine. I was just saying, I was just completing what you said, which is that if we don't go to Krishna, then we'll be like Arjun fighting the war without hearing the Gita.
Mm.
That would have been really awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. And however able you are, we've seen this in like sports and even the best of things, where the most able people also falter when their head is messed with. That's why
Yeah.
people, when you can't mess with someone's abilities, when someone's really strong in
Uh-huh.
their abilities, people try and play the mind games, because
Yeah.
mind games
Like
really
in,
break you. And however strong you are in your abilities, you will fall. And that's what, as you said, if Arjuna hadn't really sorted that out, he would definitely have most probably have failed. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, they used to do this a lot to Sachin Tendulkar, right? They were like, his mind is really intact. It's at the right place. He's very calm. So he's very focused. So they used to sledge
Mm.
him so that he gets nervous. So he starts
Mm.
sweating. His skin starts
Yeah.
burning. He loses his
Yeah.
temper. And then what will happen? Then he'll
Yeah.
not be able to play well. So
His
that's
Gandiva
exactly
starts slipping from his hand.
his Adidas Gandiva.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, actually, it's very relatable. We've all been there in situations like these, right? Where you're so nervous
Yeah.
that we can't be in the present. We start thinking of the future. We
Correct.
start making up repercussions in our
Mm.
head, which is what Arjun will do in the shloks to
Mm.
come. Like he'll tell Krishna, "Oh, if this will happen, then this will happen. Everybody will die. What will happen to the future generations? Oh, what will happen to the sins I'll get?" He starts speculating in this
Yeah.
nervousness, and with all those thoughts
Yeah.
rushing through your mind, you can't think straight. So then you can't fight the most
Mm.
important war of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. And what Arjun is saying, right? Like I think what Prabhupada is saying in his purport also is pretty cool. He says this in his purport, and he picks it up from some of the commentaries. Here, Gandiva, basically the bow in our hands, if we have to apply it to ourselves, is basically our determination to do the right thing. So when our head is messed with, our determination to do the right thing, no matter what, is basically shaken. And that is basically what the shaking of the Gandiva is also representing, beyond what is happening physically there. Actually, it's also representing that the determination to do the right thing, no matter what, is getting shaken. Yeah.
But I wonder, as in I know, but I want to discuss this. Anybody, any listener, any reader of the Bhagavad Gita will most naturally wonder that why is this happening to Arjun? Like on the first place,
Mm.
in the first place, he's a great warrior. Secondly, he's Krishna's friend,
Yeah.
right? In
Yeah.
fact, look at the entire life of the Pandavas. They're Krishna's cousins,
Yeah.
and they're very favorable cousins. They have no
Yeah.
enmity. They're the thickest friends of
Yeah.
Krishna, and
Yeah.
they had to go through so much when
Yeah.
Krishna was on the planet, right? So they had to go for everything was taken away from them. They didn't get what they were rightfully owners of. They were sent to the forest. After coming back, they were not given
Yeah.
anything. Why is this happening to Arjun and the Pandavas? Like all misfortune, including this phase of
Yeah.
indecision in the battlefield.
Yeah, I think this is also like a maybe like a warning to us that if you reduce God or Krishna or God or whatever, the concept of God, to just mere totemism. So you know what a totem is? For example, if I have like this, if some object that I have, and I associate that with godliness, right? And I basically keep it with myself as a like a totem of good luck, a
Uh-huh.
totem of fortune, a
Uh-huh.
totem of thing like that. And then I think that whenever I take it along, I will be invincible. I will be
Uh-huh.
all fortune will bless me and save me or serve me and all of that. And I start using that totem anywhere and everywhere. And the moment it fails, my faith in the totem
Uh-huh.
goes away. My faith in God, because I've reduced God to a
Yeah,
totem,
yeah,
basically. Totem which if I have, some
yeah,
things will go
yeah,
right for me. This is something that is somehow cautioning us against that
yeah,
that's not true. That it's not like people like Arjun, who have Krishna as their
yeah,
friend,
yeah,
personal friend. They've gone through a
yeah,
lot of things. So don't get to God consciousness hoping for a trouble free life, especially externally. That's not what, or trouble free, or like an genie. Don't treat it like a genie, like whatever you want, just because you have God in your proximity, your all your wishes are going to come
yeah,
true. That should not be the expectation. I think that is being set here very aptly.
yeah, yeah. I really love this totemism bit because that's what most of us do. We'll go to the temple
Yeah,
to wish for something, and then if it happens, then we're like, oh, this works. This totem works. So let me
worked. Yeah,
go, let me
yeah.
go and try this again. Oh, it worked again. Oh, and again. And then when it stops
Mm.
working, this is not God, man. This temple doesn't have God.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a really nice way to
yeah.
explain. So a true relationship with God is beyond looking at God as one who provides for me. Oh God, please provide my daily bread. That's not all that God
Mm.
is. Right? If the relationship is based
Yeah.
on just order and order fulfillment, the worshipper orders and the worshipped fulfills it, then it's totemism. Right?
Actually, the logic fails there. If you see,
Uh-huh.
as you said, don't see God just as a provider. He definitely is the provider. He's the provider for sure, but he's not just a provider,
Yeah.
right? I think that is the operative word there. And I'll tell you where the logic fails. If you think of him just as a provider, because there are atheists who have been provided a lot of things. There
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
people who are don't even not just atheists, not just people who don't care about it, don't spend much time about it, don't put much thought about it. People who actually are against it, people who are just bad mouthing the whole conception of God all the time, and they're getting a lot of things. They're getting
Yeah.
to eat more than us, they're gonna get to wear more than us, they're gonna all of that is also happening. So it just fails logic then. If you just think of God as a provider, there's a
Yeah.
bigger system at work. There's a bigger system at work.
Yeah. And not only human beings, God is providing for even animals, right? No animals die, no animal dies
Correct.
because of starvation. An ant gets its
Yeah.
food, an elephant gets its food, so they don't worship God, right? But
Mm.
still they do get it. So
Right.
yeah, that the logic of totemism fails. uh,
Yeah, it fails.
but then okay, that fails, but then Krishna should at least provide everything to Arjun. Like, fine, all of that
Yeah.
is okay, but Arjun is like a very good, like the dearmost friend. So Krishna should always take care of Arjun. Actually, when I think
Yeah.
of it, I'm reminded of this analogy that you had given earlier, which is of a road show, right? Bhagavad Mahabharat was a road show, right? And Bhagavad Gita is the
Mm.
essence in that road show, the message to be delivered in that
Essence, the
Nukkad
message.
Natak,
Yeah.
in the street play. So Arjun
Yeah.
is just playing a role there, right?
Yeah. Correct. Actually, he's playing that role. We are told this many a times. He's basically playing a role. He's not faking it. Don't get me wrong. There, he's not faking it. He's obviously in that, genuinely in that situation where he's distressed and everything. But it's because of a bigger plan that he's been put in that situation, so that he asks, because he is sensible enough. He has that relationship strong enough with Krishna that he will ask the right questions, that we, even though might be in a distressed condition, even though might be confused, even though might be in the same condition as Arjun is shown to be, we'll never ask. We'll never ask those questions, and because we're not going to ask those questions, how will we ever look at the answers? How will we
Yeah,
ever even come across the answers? So
yeah,
Arjun is being put in a situation similar to us, so that he does what we can't on our behalf. Yeah, that's the whole idea of the Bhagavad Gita.
yeah, yeah. Like, for example, when there is a dirty task that is to be carried out, then the leader of the pact selects the most reliable person to do it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
by dirty, let's say, people need to be fired in your organization, right? So to do this, you really select a person who who who's like your right hand, right, to fire people. Now it's a dirty task,
Mm.
but you get the best person to do it. That
Yeah.
person will come across as a rude, arrogant deliverer of a bad message to the rest of the world, but he's got to do this because he's the most trusted. So like that,
It's
Arjun
a
has
thankless
to.
job.
Yeah, it's a thankless job. So just like that, Arjun has to, for the sake of Krishna delivering the message to all of us, Arjun has to play the role of this foolish guy who is standing in the middle of the battlefield. He has all the strength and he's like, I can't fight. He has to play that role of getting
Yeah.
confused, nervous, of sweating, of letting his skin burn.
Yeah. Yeah. In the purport of the 30th one, actually, as you said, foolish is the word that you used. Prabhupada actually goes to a really absolute extent and uses that word to define anybody who is basically has forgotten the truth, right?
Yeah.
When anybody has forgotten the absolute truth, Prabhupada says the Vedas call that person foolish or
Um,
ignorant, right? Or to be in ignorance. That is actually the absolute definition. Truth nahi pata, so you're ignorant of the truth, hence you're
yeah.
in ignorance, you're foolish, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Prabhupada uses it in the absolute sense. What does he say? What is the absolute truth? That I'm not this body, I'm a soul. It's going to be covered in the second chapter. That this situation of mine is impermanent, but my existence is permanent, so this situation I have to handle according this impermanent condition. I have to handle according to the vision on the permanent plane, right? The plane is permanent, the action is on the conditional level. That is what Arjun has to do. And but that's what we forget. I
Yeah.
was talking to one of our friends, mutual friends, you know him, Rahul Prabhu. We were at his house for Holi, and we were just making a huge ruckus, and like we played around and just color all over the place and everything. And he just didn't care. Okay, he was like, ha, kar lenge, whatever, we'll take care of it and everything. And then he says that Prabhu, there's papdi falling fall from the places, the doors is not locking, this is happening, that is happening. And he was not very he was nonchalant about it. And then he said, I don't really care about it, because this is a rented house, this is not our own house, this is a
Yeah.
rented house, so it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me too much. My house is getting built actually, and we'll be moving soon.
Yeah.
And I realized, I discussed it with them as well, that this actually happens when we have a rented car, something which do we think it's not ours. Obviously, I'm not saying that I'm not advocating that we wreck everything which is not ours and act irresponsibly, but I'm just talking about the mindset that we are a lot at ease when things are not ours, when we know things are not ours. And when we think of things as ours, we get a lot more anxious about them, about ownership and everything. When we just like that, if we know the absolute truth that this body is actually this condition, paristhiti, this situation that I'm in, actually this is not permanent, then I can be a little at ease and act with a cool head, like I'm supposed to. I can hold on to the determination, the gandiva
Yeah.
of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
um, And here, that is what we forget, and that's what Arjun is
Yeah,
representing by forgetting
correct.
himself.
So Arjun has basically forgotten that his permanent situation is that of a soul, which is always with Krishna. His permanent
Yeah,
position is that of a friend,
correct.
in service to Krishna.
Yeah.
Uh, he's too focused on the temporary battle, the temporary war, and he's
Mm.
caring too much about it in ignorance of his permanent situation. That's why he's suffering. But
Yeah.
actually, it doesn't make sense, because,
Yeah.
like, you don't pay attention to a temporarily rented home or rented car. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be paying too much attention to this. You just do what you're supposed to do, and you go ahead. And
Yeah. Yes.
Prabhupada also writes that, it's a very profound statement. He says that it's attachment that leads to fear. Arjun is in utter fear right now.
Mm.
He's fearful of what's going to happen,
Yeah.
because he's too
Mm.
attached right now, to the temporary
Mm.
situation, to the temporary events, to the temporary relationships,
Yeah.
because of which there is fear
Correct.
in him. This is a very profound line, that attachment
Mm.
leads to fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was always tough for me to sort of understand this line. Recently, something happened to me, and I was sharing this with you. I'll just quickly repeat it. I recently got promoted. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mm.
So, uh, so of course, with promotion comes a salary hike, and I got the salary hike, and the
Yeah.
first thought that came to my head was, "Oh no, I can lose this. Now I'm earning so much.
Mm.
Oh, now
Yeah.
I can lose this." Because I was immediately
Yeah.
so attached to the new increased salary that I'll get. I was
Yeah.
simultaneously fearful of losing it. And this is what happens,
Yeah.
in our everyday jobs, in the office setup also. Everybody somewhere there, down below, they're attached to the pay, to the job, to what the job gives, and that
Yeah.
insecurity makes them do not so pleasant things, right? Because it's
Right.
fearful, right? You don't want to lose that job. Anyhow, it's temporary,
Yeah.
but you don't want to lose it. You're too attached to it, and that creates fear, insecurity,
Mm.
and in that fear and insecurity, we do not so pleasant things. Uh, we do things
Yeah.
behind back, some politics here and there. uh, I don't need to explain, we've all gone through that.
Yeah. Yeah. You've brought up a very good point, bro. Like, uh, that you saying that, see, nobody's saying holding on to a good job is not important. Nobody's saying that a salary hike is a bad thing. Nobody's saying a promotion is a bad thing. But um what the point I think is being conveyed here is that, throughout that, if we get overtly attached to them, not is here, we're not talking about being responsible about it, or being a good employee and actually doing the right thing. No, we have to do all of that. But beyond that, circumstantially, things might go wrong, things might go right, who knows. But in that right and wrong of things, if I get too overtly attached, then I will basically think, by hook or crook, sam dam dand bhed, I have to hold on to this. Not that, no, I have to do the right thing. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter if I lose this or hold on to this. Yeah. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but it makes sense on paper. Also, it makes sense, logical hai.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, but I'm thinking again, it's natural for me to be attached, right? It's natural for me to be attached to
Yeah.
something I'm investing my time in, my everyday in. Uh,
Right. Mm.
how to get over that
I mean,
attachment?
this is the thing that Krishna will teach us aage bhi.
Yeah,
He basically will tell us ki don't take yourself that seriously. You guys are, yeah, fine, you're a jiva, you're a soul, you're this and you're that. Don't take yourself that seriously. He'll basically talk to us about the bigger picture in life. uh
yeah,
ki the whole system, dekh bhaiya, this thing is happening outside of what your little sphere is. That thing, you get to take a part in that. And once my aspiration is not my little sphere, my aspiration is that huge big possibility that Krishna opens up, then I'll be like, oh, if I this is the trade-off, this or that, obviously that's bigger. He's
Yeah,
talking to us to be selfish,
yeah,
but truly selfish. In a real self-interest, he's
mm,
basically talking to us,
yeah,
not trying to talk to
yeah.
us.
That's very nicely, very beautifully explained, Prabhu. It's like Krishna tells us, guys, you're playing with toys. Okay, I've got gold over here.
Yeah,
So stop being
yeah,
attached to your tiny pull back cars. There's
yeah,
gold over here. So then naturally, when you look
yeah,
at the gold, you're like, okay,
correct.
who cares about these cars? Okay, fine. As a duty, we have to play with it. We'll
Yeah,
play with it. But there's natural detachment because your focus is now towards gold. That pullback car will sometimes not
yeah.
work.
It's positive
Sometimes
reinforcement.
come again, Prabhu.
It's positive reinforcement that basically Krishna will give us, starting off with your current situation. He'll talk about our current situation, talk about the state of life, this that, and then he's going to move on to bigger things, which is positive
Yeah,
reinforcement. He'll never
yeah,
say leave this and just and leave it at that. He's never going to be like leave this and not talk about okay but what. He'll
mm,
always talk about leave this so that you get this,
this.
so
Yeah,
that you can get here. He'll
yeah,
always talk about positive reinforcement
yeah. So it's like
if you give him
detachment.
enough time, if you stick with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
detachment through attachment to something bigger, through positive reinforcement, as
correct.
you said. Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
great note to end on. We are running out of time.
yeah,
Anything,
yes, bro. Yeah,
any
Arjun's
last
gonna give us
closing statements?
a whole laundry list of reasons not to fight, and why he's basically gonna make a video on why we should not fight the Mahabharat war. What a great time to do it right before the start. He's gonna be like, "Well, 5 reasons why we should not fight the Mahabharat war." Like he's
Yeah.
gonna start his rant.
Yeah. That's the prologue to the next session, the next episode.
Yes,
So Arjun will give his reasons, and the acharyas have helped us classify these reasons. We'll start doing that from the next episode.
hmm.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Gaura